Okay, we're doing some troubleshooting. Ew, I don't want to hear myself.
Okay, we're live.
Okay, you can turn it off.
Sorry, guys, technical difficulties.
Okay. Can people see us now? If you can comment on the video.
Grandma, if you can see us, let us know.
Grandma, text me.
I'm thinking everybody heard us though, right? You think?
I hope so.
I think they heard the whole story. Well, we can do it again. Some of it.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, huh? What, honey?
Summarize. You said summarize.
Summarize.
Hold on. Let me call Grandma.
Call Grandma. Make sure she's
pause.
Watching. She's like. Summarize. Sorry, we're having to. Is it unmuted?
Yeah, I unmuted.
Sorry, I'm doing this from Seattle. I don't have my producer. Please forgive me. Sorry about that. I don't know if y'all heard the whole thing, but just summarize.
Can you see us? Can you see us on the?
Huh?
Can you see us on the screen for Facebook?
I can see you now.
Okay, good.
Oh.
Did you hear us before or just see us? We're running late. This is Mary from Two Blind Mice. Let's start again. I don't have a producer today. Sorry about that. We are in, Phil's taking the day off. Like I said, it's girls' night out. So it's me and my shadow, my daughter, aka Apple My Eye, aka love of my life. Okay, I'm here in Seattle, Washington, where the temperature is a bombing 70 degrees.
It's hot.
You can be jealous, you can be envious, you can be all you want, but I'm here and you're not. Okay, let's move on. Today we are having my daughter on the show.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about different things. We're going to start over since we were recording a minute ago. Okay, the show will be, let me do an update before we do that. We will not be on the air until October. We are going on a cruise to Alaska, hopefully for my daughter's birthday. Hopefully we can have a show from the cruise. I'm hoping if the Wi-Fi is good enough.
It's working. Okay, sorry, I was just double checking.
Okay, and if not, we won't be on until October. So I'm going to take it over. This is my daughter, Yasmin Novelia Gomez Ramirez.
Well, just tell them my social security too.
I don't know your social security card. I don't know you that well.
I know.
So Yasmin.
Yeah.
What are you doing here in Seattle?
Well, Mrs. Sotelo,
AKA Vanna, AKA Mom.
Okay. She's got a whole persona on here.
I do.
I love that for her. So I am here in Seattle. I am a PhD student at University of Washington, Seattle.
UW.
What they call UW. So I'm working on my doctorate, my PhD in feminist studies at the Department of Gender, Women, and Sexuality Studies. Largely, I study Chicana and Tejana feminism.
Oh, you bring your culture with you, did you?
And cultural production.
Yeah. And where are you from? And what other degrees do you have?
I am from Rio Hondo, Texas. I did my basics at TSTC. Shout out Community College. Transferred to UTRGV. Got my bachelor's in English. Worked as a tutor for many years. I got my master's in English. What was that? A year ago now?
Oh yeah, almost in May. It was a year.
Yeah. Graduated last year. And so I've been. And then there I was working as a writing center tutor for a number of years. Then I was a teaching assistant or a graduate instructor at UTRGV for English, and I taught dual enrollment. And now I am here.
And tell me, What did you do before you started college? What kind of job did you have before that?
Wow, you're really bringing out the lore here, the deep question.
Well, because I want people to see where you were and where you have become and where you've come from.
So my first job before going to college, I worked as a Chinese hostess at Great China in Harlingen.
Shout
I
out.
was the
Yep.
one who wore a vest and took you to your table.
Mhm.
And so I will say that job was a great place to start. Very supportive. Their lo mein is great. Still miss it. And I will say that it was a great place to start before I decided to go and pursue college full time.
Didn't it kind of encourage you to get a higher education, would you say?
Well, I feel like now you're putting bias onto
No,
it.
I'm not biased. I'm just saying it encouraged you to strive to do even more with your education.
Well, I think working as a hostess alongside with some of the family struggles and
Mhm.
personal struggles we were having, there was a moment where I was thinking about quitting college.
Yeah.
For a good bit, it started getting, not that school was getting hard, balancing life was really hard.
Was it because of your
Yes.
mom going blind and your dad?
Yes,
Yeah.
because you cannot be, absent to the fact that that is something that does weigh on people when they're at home in their home life.
Mhm.
And I think me as a teacher, I've always been the type of teacher who understands that we come from different environments and different home lives, and those affect how we pursue education or if we pursue education. Not to say education is the only way to succeed in life, it is not.
Right.
But I would say that it definitely does affect,
True.
yeah. So like when I was working at as a Chinese hostess,
Hostess with the most.
the hostess with the mostest, but not the mostest tips is fine. I don't know. Somebody just let me just click off that notification. There you go. I would say it motivated me in the way that I had a moment understanding that, like, one, I was struggling with the fact of thinking, like, do I want to keep pursuing college? Is this something that I can succeed at? Because at the time there was so much going on. I wasn't necessarily super successful at college. I was getting C's, I was getting D's because it was very difficult to balance things.
Yeah.
But
And you had several deaths in your family at the time too.
Yeah, I had a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
My grandmother passed away. My father passed away.
Your
My uncle passed away.
Within all like a year.
My aunt had passed away a few years before that. So, and then my dad was sick for at least 10 years. And then you had gone blind when I was 17. Which is a very critical time in someone's life. You're going into senior year of high school. You're getting ready to go out into the world, and all of a sudden, I felt like I don't know what to do next. And I don't really know how to do it when I'm thinking about how to be a good caretaker sometimes, right? So I think working there actually, along with my boyfriend at the time, and my husband now, Alan.
Yes, she's married. She's taken.
My husband, Alan, my boyfriend at the time, he was in college. He was at UTRGV. He was a tutor. He was an English tutor. So we had that in common. I became an English tutor later. Thank you, Alan, for the job hookup. He was actually the one who really encouraged me to keep going. I was thinking about quitting college, like seriously. Like I was already like, I don't think this is for me. I don't think it's for me. I need to focus on some personal stuff. And he was the one who was like, well, I have personal stuff too, and you can still be successful. And I think you can be successful. And I think maybe you're just not in the right space for it. And I'm going to do everything I can to, help you be successful.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Shout out to Alan.
Yes.
Yeah.
No crying.
No crying. Oh,
no, crying is,
I'd be crying.
Crying is off the limits.
He's wonderful.
So what would you say you inspired to be when you grow up?
Okay, so I know we already did this, so I practiced my intro here.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say that
Deja vu.
I wouldn't say that what I aspire to be when I grow up. I am grown up, but I aspire to continue the work I've been doing for several years.
Right.
I was a tutor for a long time, at least 5 years, I think. A long time I was tutoring.
Yeah.
And then I was a teacher at UTRGV for a year. I was a teaching assistant for English. And then I
taught at
really-
Sylvan too. Didn't you?
I worked at Sylvan for a little while too during
Yeah.
the pandemic.
Yeah, Sylvan.
Yeah, shout out Sylvan. Yeah. But something that I want to continue doing is teaching, just because I've found my passion for it.
Mhm.
I thought teaching would be my least favorite part of academia, being the one who was, always the student.
Yeah.
And then I became the teacher and realized how important of a role it is. And
Mhm.
secondly, the good work I could do as a teacher.
All right, now she's just showing off. Okay, continue. Let's move on. We
You
know she's the smart fart in the family.
She's making me recite my resume here.
She's the smart fart in the family. That's all that matters. Don't ask her where she got it from because it wasn't from me.
You're very smart.
Let's talk about what was it like when your mother went blind.
Oh, that's not a loaded question at all.
Or let's talk about how your mom was before she went blind, and then we'll talk about how she is now that she's blind.
Okay, so starting of how she was
Yeah.
before she was blind.
Again.
Again,
Sorry.
now I'm gonna get it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All good things.
All good things. I would say my mother before she went blind was a very, and still is, which is going to be a theme throughout this, was a very compassionate person, very compassionate nurse, very caring nurse, very strong woman, very strong woman. She definitely raised me being very like, you don't need anyone to support you. You can do everything and there's nothing stopping you. Very like
Yeah.
that. But then also being a nurse was a very big part of her personality. Just because she loved being the person who could bring a smile to someone, who could be there on their worst day, usually their worst day.
Yeah.
No one wants to be on
No.
the ER or home health.
Yeah.
So I will say that you were very compassionate. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna cry.
No, me
I did
neither.
this last time without crying.
I
Now that
know,
the
what
camera's
the
on,
heck?
I'm like, oh,
No crying.
I'm gonna slap you with a thing.
I know. I'm trying not to.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's she was very compassionate
Yeah.
and a very caring person. She was also very much the type who would not just be your nurse, but invest herself in your life. She would be your bestie. She would bring, I know many times she won't admit to it. I know she bought people's medications,
Their groceries.
their groceries.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cry.
Presents for the
sweet.
grandkids.
Heaters, air conditioner, especially in the valley. It's so hot in the valley. And we have, a large number of people in the valley in poverty, right?
Yeah,
So
we do. Yeah, that was me.
so she was very, very caring.
Yeah.
I was doing this so well earlier. And like now you've got me all emotional. I was really thinking on these answers.
I know. Sorry.
Okay, no more.
No
that
more
was the
that.
last one.
Okay. How is your mom now?
I think she's just the same.
Oh. Oh.
She's this is where they do the laugh track, but it's like the oh. But you're still the same. You're still very compassionate, very caring. You're very, I would say, even though you're like 6 states away, usually she's very involved in my life. Usually, I don't get to cry about my struggles all the time, but
No.
she's definitely still a very involved person, very compassionate.
Yeah.
And I was saying on our take before, where it turns out no one could hear me, that she used to wear the craziest scrubs, bright pink scrubs, scrubs with Hello Kitty, scrubs with puppy dogs, and match her shoes and match her nursing bag,
and
and have that big stethoscope with the pink wrap around it. Everything was pink in her life. Anyway, so if you see her in real life, she's still the exact same. I even went and bought her this like pink hydro flask so we could like match. Mine is purple, but so she's still the exact same. She was wearing like bedazzles the other day. Like,
yeah,
you're still the same person. She just can't see,
I just don't wear scrubs anymore.
I don't wear scrubs.
I used to be very coordinated, and I was actually called one of the best dressed nurses.
I would also say coordinated, not just in outfits, but coordinated like in skill. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I don't tell people this, but when I was a kid, I would go to the doctor and I had strep throat a lot. I was a very sick kid. And they have to do that. They have to poke your throat for strep for the test.
Yeah.
I would look at the nurse and say, "Can my mom do it?"
Yeah.
And my mom would do it, or she also had a really good hand for drawing blood. She was very gentle.
Yeah.
And I will say,
won't care.
I ripped my whole foot skin off once, and she nursed me back to health. There's no scar, so I would say that was a big win. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You fell off an ATV. I know.
I did fall off an ATV, but you know what? You live, you learn. I don't do ATVs anymore.
I remember that. I nursed a lot of people back.
Yes, I am one very much appreciative. She's not fun when you have fevers, though. She would just throw you in the shower. It's not fun. But she had good intentions. But she was also a very tough love mother, and I think that has changed as I've gotten older. Now we're more like, I think our relationship has always been really good friends, really besties in the way. We love to be girls together and do stuff the girls do. Yeah. But then when I was younger, it was more like, hey, you need to do this, or no iPhone, or you need to meet these expectations and do this. You very much had like goals for me to hit.
And then I'd say, well, are you okay with that grade?
Yeah, a lot of self-reflection.
I mean, it doesn't matter what I think of that grade. What do you think of that grade? And that's basically.
Are you disappointed in yourself?
Exactly.
Or do you feel that?
Exactly.
And that's why I'm here, and I'm still doing that to myself.
That was a different way of me mothering you and not being too tough on you, but saying, how do you feel? Did you apply yourself as much as you could have? Not talking down to you, but just teaching you that.
Yeah.
You know, and
very much expectations of myself.
Exactly.
What do I expect from myself?
And I think you're probably still the same way a little bit, right?
I'm very hard on myself.
You're too hard on yourself.
I'm too hard on myself. I've been told by many people.
But that's not my fault.
But that's not your fault. It's just it's actually not a bad thing all the time.
Yeah,
so
it's not.
But yeah, I think you were a great mother. I think our relationship has changed now that we can just have really good friendship and good advice. And
I'm no longer raising you.
You're no longer raising.
I'm done. You're married.
I'm 26. Like I'm an adult. But
that's what I told her when she was in high school, about 18. I said, I have to detach from you now. You know, I was already detaching because I was like, you're gonna go away. Don't cry.
Yeah.
Don't cry.
You're not crying.
So I kind of detached.
Where's the slapstick?
It's back here. I kind of detached from myself, from you. I had to learn to do that. Some parents can't do that.
It's hard.
At all. They can't do it. And I'm like, I've told parents, you have to kind of detach and let them spread their wings and let them learn things on their own in life. And you've done it very well. A very good job of it.
I have done my best.
You have.
I have made mistakes. I have grown from them.
Well, we all do, but we learn.
We all do.
And shout out to my mother that raised me and raised Mina mostly too.
Thank you, Grandma. You are amazing.
Grandma Margaret.
You are my favorite cheerleader.
Which was also a nurse. Yes.
My grandmother's also a nurse. She's amazing.
Yeah. No crying.
I'm not gonna cry.
No crying.
You had to catch me all emotional. It's because you shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do it.
I know.
I can't even look at you.
I didn't mean to. Sorry.
Anyway.
That brings back memories of when you were little.
I know. Thank you, Grandma, for encouraging every weird hobby I ever had. I made oven mitts. I made soap.
Soap. Oh, you're real good at soap making.
Soap was really fun. I painted. I sketched. I did anything that Hobby Lobby had.
Because you needed an outlet.
I'm also an only child and an only grandchild, so it's like
I still have your painting.
Doing
I still have your painting of the hummingbird.
Oh my god,
I do. I love it.
Do you remember the way cows and dads said they look like cinnamon rolls?
The Hellbase look like cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, he came in my room and I was like, why do those hay bales look like cinnamon rolls?
Go, oh my god, they do. I want a cinnamon roll.
I think I burnt that painting. I was like, I can't unsee it. So I let art go.
So what would you say? Okay, that was how I was.
Yeah, it's how you were.
Still am, but how would you say I've changed now since I'm blind and been to Chris Cole and do all this advocacy for people that are blind? What would you say about that?
What would I say about you doing that?
What would you say? How have I changed, like from when I had vision to when I'm not?
I think you're doing the same things you would have done if you had vision. Like in different ways.
A different outlet, right?
Different outlets. Okay. Like I think you still would have been a nurse probably back in the ER doing, I don't know.
I would still be working.
You would still be working. You're a very hard worker. I think partially when you were, when you had sight, it was like work was part of your personality. And I think that was really hard for you to detach from. Just how you were like, it was hard to detach from you. I think it was really hard for you to detach from work. You didn't really know who you were outside of work. Like work was just, who am I? I am nurse.
I
nurse.
am job.
I am job.
I am job.
So
Yeah.
I think that
You're right. You're right.
that's that situation. But I think you're doing the same, the
Awesome.
same kind of things where you're still showing compassion in different ways and bringing visibility to community and advocating for people and
Mhm.
people with disabilities
Yeah.
and doing a lot of work within disability justice, I think.
Yeah, and my White King project and all the projects I'm into. What
Yeah,
would you say about it, us doing this live stream? What do you
I
think
think I encourage it. I
Okay.
think as long as you find joy in what you do, then that's when you
Exactly.
do it.
I agree
If
with
you no longer find joy in things, there's really no point in doing them.
If you make them into a job, it's no longer fun for me.
Yeah,
Because I already work so
I mean,
hard.
it goes like with everything in life, right? That you do for yourself and for others, right? It's like
yeah,
you can only put so much in until it, when it starts getting to you is when you need to pull back. But then you
Mhm.
should also find joy in things you do. I wouldn't be doing a PhD if I didn't enjoy it.
right.
There are aspects that I definitely enjoy, and then there's hard aspects, So
Yeah.
it's like that goes with a lot of things in life.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
It's like if you find joy in it and some pieces of it, then keep doing it.
For sure. Yeah.
So,
okay, what's your favorite food in Seattle?
my favorite food in Seattle.
What did we just go eat?
We went to go eat Hawaiian.
Oh, it's so
It
good.
was delicious.
Don't anybody turn down Spam here in Seattle. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It's Spam. I know, who knew?
My favorite food in Seattle is oh my gosh, Vietnamese spring rolls with peanut sauce.
Ooh.
And they usually put this grilled pork in them, like pork belly, and then like carrots and cilantro and lettuce. I love vegetables too, so like with peanut sauce.
I can't believe you said that. When you grew up, I couldn't get you to eat a vegetable to save my life.
Now I'm getting older and I'm like, oh, I love the crunch. It's so good.
She used to have spaghetti night, and we put her on the table, and we'd be running the bath because she'd have noodles in her hair.
Okay, well, I wasn't 8. I was like 1. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a memory I'll never forget. It's so cute. I can't wait. It was so cute. Grandma remembers. Grandma remembers. We like to have small memories when you're little.
But yeah, the Vietnamese here in Seattle is just fantastic.
All the food I've had here has been really, really good.
Yes.
I could gain weight here. I don't want to gain more weight.
I thought I lost weight when I got here, and then I really started finding things I loved, and I was like,
that's what's hard, right?
This is gonna be a problem.
Yeah, the food's really good. The weather's really good.
Sorry, our sink is making weird noises. It's just
I think it's the refrigerator or something. Anyways, there was like a really weird noise next to me. I'm so sorry, I'm distracted. What else should we talk about?
What do you want to talk about? This is your show. Like I just.
So how was it like when your dad was still alive? What did you have to do with him when he was alive that I couldn't do anymore? Can you tell them that?
That's a great question.
You took over some of the wound care, which I used to do your dad's wound care too.
I did start doing my dad's wound care for his foot ulcers thing.
He was diabetic. He always had
diabetic. He had secondary effects of diabetes type 2. And so I started doing his wound care. And then when he had several amputations, I was doing his wound care with that. Mm-hmm. Mom tried to help as much as she could, even blind.
But I would
but she was
coach you through it.
She was a great teacher. She'd be like, grab this.
I did it one time, and the nurse said I did a better job than she did.
Dad said the same thing.
And I was blind. That should tell you how good I was, right? I was kidding.
No. And then, so I started doing his wound care. I started taking him to dialysis every, I think 3 times a week.
3 times a week. 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hold on, let me close the windows really quick because I think someone just came in. 1 second.
Oh, let me close the windows. It is closed. I thought I had closed it last night. Sorry. I'll do a show. Well, let me introduce these slap bands. No, she's coming back.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
She'll talk to you about what diabetes does.
Not that I'm a diabetic.
What diabetes can do to a very active man, and it takes him over.
I mean,
your dad was very active.
My dad was extremely active.
He used to build.
He was
cars.
A classic car
freak, nut fanatic.
Yeah, nut fanatic. Which is great because everyone needs a passion in life.
Yes.
It did also mean that we had a whole room full of car parts and a garage. And oh yeah, I think someone just came into the Airbnb upstairs.
Yeah, right
so
there. Yeah.
so I'll try not to be too loud. But yeah, he was a very active person. From a lot of my life, I really knew him as a sicker person sometimes, just because he was sick for a very long time, probably like
10 years?
at least 10 years. I think
Yeah.
at least since I was 7 when we moved into the house.
Yeah.
So it was difficult sometimes. Just, I don't know, seeing the effects of different, of diabetes on people, especially someone so close to you, and seeing probably the worst effects.
Oh,
Probably the worst way it could go.
Dialysis.
Not that dialysis is a death sentence. It
no,
is not.
no, it is not.
Many people live a
He
long
stayed
time.
about 7
He stayed an
years.
extra 6-7 years on dialysis. So that was a life-saving technology as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I took over a lot of that. I was taking him dialysis at 3 a.m, 3 times a week, making him coffee for that, picking him up from dialysis, folding up his wheelchair and doing that, which I had a tiny Mazda at the time and it did not fit in my Mazda. But then at home as well, I took over a lot of wound care. He started doing his own insulin.
God, you know how long it took me to get your dad to put his own insulin?
He had fewer needles. Okay.
See, when I went blind, I would always give him his insulin.
Yeah, I know that. And then I had to do it one day, and I was like, "No, I'm not doing this. You're gonna have to tough this one out, because you are a baby when it comes to needles. I can't do this."
He started finally doing it.
I know. But I took over a lot of the other stuff too. I took up a lot of the domestic work, especially after Mom went blind. She was mainly the domestic labor in the house, so I thank her for that. I started doing my laundry like 13, 14, but she did a lot of the dishes, floors, bathrooms, all that, while working over full time as a nurse on call all the time.
Yeah.
And so she was a really hard worker. But then when she went blind, I did take over a majority of that, which for a 17-year-old can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
I will give my dad props that he started cooking more. And so that was very helpful. Because I didn't necessarily have the time to cook, but I took care of the rest. Like, I know we were having an inspection of the house one time from some government resource, and I had to clean that whole house by myself. And it was a 4-room house at the time, and that was a lot of labor.
It's a lot of work to keep.
It's clean. A lot of labor, and especially in Rohan, it's very dusty.
It's
constantly dusty.
We live next to a sand pit.
So there was a lot of labor I was taking on, not just within high school, but then after Dad started getting even sicker and he was wheelchair bound, when I was 18, 19, while I was working as a hostess. It's like
hostess with the mostest.
That's when I really started having more responsibility, almost I would say a majority of the responsibility. Even in charge of, making sure bills are paid, making sure we're not losing our house, making sure, we have transportation, making sure we have gas, making sure people are fed, making sure the house is clean.
Everything I used to do.
Everything my mother would do went onto my shoulders. And so that was a lot of responsibility to take on at such a young age.
You had to grow up real fast, didn't you?
I did. I had a moment actually at Dad's funeral where I realized I had to leave things behind. So I had to move forward very quickly, especially exiting high school. It's like you're still kind of in that phase of being like, I'm still kind of a kid, but I'm also kind of an adult. And then all these things fall upon you, and you don't have any choice. You have to stand up and you have to do it.
It makes you a stronger person, though. It really
does. It made me really even more independent. So
she finished high school, went to TSGC, then she went to college, and she graduated, and then she said, I'm going to go to Washington. And I said, go be free, fly, my child.
Fly.
I had never wanted to hold my daughter back from any opportunity. So.
And she never has. If anything, she has always pushed me into things.
No crying.
Whether that be a cotillion dress.
Oh my God. You know what? The cotillion, but that was something you did with your father.
No, it was a lovely experience.
It was.
I
wouldn't take it back.
No, I wouldn't either. But that was a really difficult transition, especially the years between 17 when you went blind and when I was 20 when my dad passed away. That was a very hard 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 4 years. And I really do thank Alan for that, a lot of it. Alan really helped.
He took her away.
No. He definitely stepped in a lot of ways.
He
so
did.
shout out Alan.
Even with me, he would cook for me and stuff like that.
Yes,
He was
Alan
really
was
good.
private chef. He was
He
great.
was. He's an awesome chef.
So I really thank him.
He's a
for
great
that.
guy. He's a wonderful son-in-law.
He is. And so yeah, it was a difficult few years and had to go very quickly, but things are good.
Things are good. And I'm here in Washington with her for about a month and a half. I haven't seen her in about a year since last May when she graduated with her master's degree.
Yeah.
That was a long time. What did I get you for your master's degree?
Oh, yes. She got me a custom-made blanket with all of my father's old t-shirts, car t-shirts on it.
Mm-hmm.
She made me cry. She's very good at that. I ugly cried in my
Your graduation
my
pictures.
graduation
Ooh.
pictures.
Yeah.
Which is very lovely, and it's here with me in Seattle, so I have it.
It's something to remember your father forever.
Yes, it
Because
is.
he wore those shirts every doggone day.
Yeah, they're very thin.
Well, it's not a heavy blanket, I guess.
No, it's not a heavy blanket.
So this is my daughter. I'm very proud of her. She's living her life in Seattle, and I'm living my life in Texas.
And I miss Texas very much.
She just,
never
I
forget
did
Texas.
bring her a Whataburger
She did bring
on
me
the
a Whataburger.
plane, and she loved it. So whenever
was
you
lovely.
always got to have a Whataburger. So that sums that up. I want to introduce you guys to an idea that Phil and I had. They are a new. We found them on. Amazon. How much were these, babe? Like $3, $6?
Yeah, $10 for
$10 for two. It's pretty cool. It's a bracelet. Yeah, I know they're blue. I think they have them in different color. It's a slap bracelet. See that? You slap it on. It has a light you can turn on, which I never can turn on. I can. It has different settings. You can blink. You can go constant. But it flashes. What we want to do is use this almost as a protection. I'm going to call this our magic, kind of like Wonder Woman. Tas, right? Ta-ta, and you want for both. What we do with this is when we go out to eat or we go out somewhere, we put it on, and I hate getting the waitress's attention, or they come back like 20,000 times thinking because I'm blind I need help every 2 minutes, which I don't. So I usually tell them, look, I have this bracelet. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to turn it on when I need you. So if you see this bracelet flashing, whichever, his or mine, if it's flashing, then we need you. Likewise, when we go out in public, especially dark at nighttime,
Yeah.
if we're having an emergency or something's really wrong, I could put these on. People are going to pay attention to us. Trust me. We're looking for ones that vibrate so we know when they're on, when they're off. But Phil and I came up with this fantastic idea, and it's getting a very good reception in the blind community. And it's a simple little slap bracelet, rechargeable.
And
So
it's also a weapon.
I could beat somebody up with it.
Let me
Okay, do it, Mina.
hold on.
Do it. Oh, just kidding. It didn't hurt. Like I said, they come in different colors. They're on Amazon. You can buy them for like 2 for $10, or you could probably find cheaper ones. But if you don't want the battery powered, but you want the rechargeable, you can use it over. We're going on a cruise in August, and we have encouraged everybody that's on the cruise with us to purchase one. So everybody, the staff on the cruise, knows who we are. Even if they don't see us with a cane, they know we are part of the blind party. Not the Dahmer party, the blind party.
No, they didn't make it at Washington.
The blind party. So if it's flashing, please help me.
No, I'll leave you there.
If it's flashing, please ask if we need help. Anything a little easier to get people's attention besides yelling and acting like a complete idiot? No idea. Let me know what you guys think about it. It's simple, it's cheap, it's effective.
It's fashionable.
It could be if it had some kind of.
It matches your outfits. It's pink.
It could be if it had some kind of rhinestone.
Maybe that's what we do this
I
weekend.
need to bling it.
We
No.
bedazzle it.
I bling it. I bedazzle it all. So let me know what you think. buy some, wear them, see if they work for you. And you know what? I think that the waiting staff, the waitresses and the waiters would appreciate it. So they don't have to come to our table every 2 minutes, and they can help other people when we don't need it.
It's also helping with their emotional labor too, of not worrying that
Worrying
you're really
about
in
us.
need.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
Because I do think a lot of people who are unaware of how to interact with people who are
Yes.
blind.
Yes.
It really comes not from a place of freaking out, but a place of how can I be there for them?
Yeah, I get a lot of people. They're like
Yeah.
helicopter, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah, like I
I
am
just
with
really
her.
want to help.
And they're like, "Do you need anything? Do you need anything now? Do you need anything now?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine. Do you need anything now?" I'm like, "You were just here 2 seconds ago. I'm fine." So I kind of like to like have a conversation at dinner and not be interrupted like every
Would
2
you like
minutes.
some cheese?
Would you like some cheese on your pasta?
Tell me when.
You want more cheese? You want less cheese? You want this? Do you need refill? Do you want more breadsticks? Do you need? I'm like, no, I'm fine. If you see this light flashing,
I need some cheese.
you can come on over and give me some more cheese on my pasta.
Yeah.
So that will wrap up our show. You've met the apple of my eye, the love of my life, the treasure in my treasure chest.
In your treasure chest.
Yes. Wow. That's a good one, right?
That's a good one.
I know. It just came into my head.
I know.
Pop
that's
goes the
brilliant.
weasel. Okay. Yeah. And I will see you. Hopefully, we'll do one from the ship. If we do, then I might have, maybe we get some other people that are, it's about 50 blind people on the cruise with us.
You must do one from the ship. We should all get pina coladas and do it.
You love pina coladas.
And getting caught in the rain. Bum, 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 bye.
Bye.